From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, October the 10th, 2023. Israel's death toll from the brutal Hamas assault that began Saturday morning has surpassed 900 people, among them at least 123 IDF soldiers and hundreds of civilians, men, women, children, babies. The IDF said the number of injured was 2,741 and that 50 families had been informed that their loved ones were abducted by the terror group. The IDF said today that it had finally regained control over the border with Gaza. Those searches for Palestinian terrorists in the area continue today. Israeli soldiers battling with and killing at least 9 Palestinian terrorists in several separate incidents near the Gaza border. The IDF today took members of the foreign press to southern Israeli communities attacked by Hamas Saturday to see the horrors for themselves, including to kibbutz Kfar Aza, where the head of the IDF's Depth Command, General Dan Raviv, told reporters of the attack, "It's not a war, it's a massacre." Rocket barrages also continue today from Gaza. 2 foreign workers were killed from a rocket strike in the Eshkol region in southern Israel, with more rocket attacks throughout the day today at southern Israel, at central Israel. Rockets also fired at northern Israel from Lebanon. The IDF said in response that its tanks struck 2 observation posts belonging to terror group Hezbollah. The IDF continued its airstrikes on Gaza in response to the situation, taking out a number of senior Hamas officials, including the economy minister of the terror organization. The IDF saying he managed the organization's finances and earmarked the funds for financing and directing terrorism inside and outside the Gaza Strip. Israel's Air Force hit hundreds of terror targets across the enclave today, including an underground tunnel built to smuggle equipment and ammunition. And U.S. President Joe Biden addressed the nation today about the situation, where he clearly stated the U.S. position against Hamas and what he called unadulterated evil, and the U.S.'s ironclad support for the State of Israel.
You know, there are moments in this life, and I mean this literally, when the pure, unadulterated evil is unleashed on this world. The people of Israel lived through one such moment this weekend. The brutality of Hamas, these bloodthirstiness brings to mind the worst rampages of ISIS. This is terrorism. But sadly, for the Jewish people, it's not new. This attack has brought to the surface painful memories and the scars left by a millennia of anti-Semitism and genocide of the Jewish people. So in this moment, we must be crystal clear. We stand with Israel. We stand with Israel.
The president also said that sadly the number of American citizens killed in the Hamas attack is now at least 14, adding that his administration is also surging additional military assistance to Israel, including ammunition and interceptors to replenish the Iron Dome. Yesterday, the president, together with world leaders in a joint statement, expressed their steadfast and united support to the State of Israel, writing, "and our unequivocal condemnation of Hamas and its appalling acts of terrorism." Biden joined UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, French President Emmanuel Macron, and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni in saying, "We make clear that the terrorist actions of Hamas have no justification, no legitimacy, and must be universally condemned. There is never any justification for terrorism," saying our countries will support Israel in its efforts to defend itself and its people against such atrocities. Biden also said that while the U.S. was still working to confirm, they believe it is likely that American citizens may be among those being held by Hamas, and that his team was working with their Israeli counterparts on every aspect of the hostage crisis, adding that in this moment of heartbreak, the American people stand shoulder to shoulder with Israelis. We remember the pain of being attacked by terrorists at home, and Americans across the country stand united against these evil acts that have once more claimed innocent American lives. It is an outrage. And an emotional press conference was held today in Tel Aviv with family members of U.S. citizens, Israeli Americans, presumably being held by Hamas in Gaza. They spoke of their loved ones, expressing hope that the U.S. helps with their safe return. Last night, in another show of support from the U.S., the White House lit up in blue and white. As a symbol, it wrote of the United States' enduring support and solidarity with the people of Israel in the wake of the horrific terrorist attacks committed by Hamas. Landmarks across the U.S. and around the world have lit up as well, from Australia to Argentina and across Europe, with rallies of support, including today in front of the United Nations with New York Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams. Similar gatherings of solidarity held in cities across the United States and around the globe. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, October the 10th. At 7 o'clock, Aaron David Miller and Robert Siegel talk about what happened in Israel, where things stand, and how and when this war might end, in a program of Moment Magazine. At 8 o'clock, Dan Raviv and Uri Kaufman talk about the Yom Kippur War, also from Moment. At 9, it's Aryeh Green on L'chaim. At 10, a new update on the situation in Israel on FIDF Live. And coming up next, it's the ILTV's Insider. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, October the 10th, 2023. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.